Politicians, military and intelligence officers in London, Stockholm, Vienna and Berlin are pondering questions that until recently seemed unthinkable. Will Russian leader Vladimir Putin be satisfied with his achievements in Ukraine? If not, what will be his next steps? This is of particular concern to countries that could be next, such as Lithuania, writes Die Welt. Darius Jauniškis, who headed Lithuania's VSD security service for 9 years, warns the regime wants the Russian Empire back. This also includes the Baltic states, Ukraine and Poland. Putin is also targeting parts of Finland. According to VSD report, Russia is preparing for a long-term confrontation with NATO, in particular through attempts to destabilize Western societies and undermine support for Ukraine. Putin uses the entire toolkit of his special services for this, including sabotage against critical infrastructure and military facilities, influencing public opinion and recruiting agents through Telegram. Jauniškis explains, Moscow is also trying to disrupt the creation of a Bundeswehr brigade in Lithuania using fakes. For example, information is being spread that German soldiers are raping women and want to occupy Lithuania. As Jauniškis notes, Russia is actively hindering this project, and Lithuanian special services are in contact with their German colleagues to counteract it. Gerard Mangot, an expert on Russian affairs, notes that the Baltic Sea is a potential confrontation zone. Russian military aircraft often switch off their transponders, which forces NATO fighters to scramble to intercept. This could lead to false alarms that, while not causing a war, could trigger selective confrontations. The focus is on two places: Narva in Estonia, where 95% of the population is ethnic Russian, and the Suwalki Gap, which could become a route for connecting Russian forces in Kaliningrad with Belarus. I don't expect Russia to attack NATO countries militarily for the next 7 to 10 years. Its military capabilities are now weakened, Mangot said. He also adds that NATO expansion, in particular the promise of membership to Ukraine in 2008, was perceived by the Russian elite as a threat. Arndt Freytag von Loringhoven, author of Putin's Assault on Germany, believes that Russia has become much more dangerous than the late USSR. He emphasizes the importance of actively combating disinformation. France and Sweden are setting an example of effective counteraction to Russian influence. They create task forces, publish the names of those responsible for disinformation, and block channels. In 2022, Sweden founded the Psychological Defense Agency, and France founded the Viginum Agency in response to Russia's interference during the 2017 presidential elections. According to experts, European countries should be prepared to more actively counter Russian influence. This includes both a prompt response to threats and strategic strengthening of information and cybersecurity.
A powerful storm is bearing down on the west coast and bringing with it a scary-sounding weather term. That term is bomb cyclone. Bomb cyclone is a term used by weather enthusiasts to describe a process that meteorologists usually call bombogenesis. It's the rapid intensification of a cyclone in a short period of time, and it can happen during powerful storms such as the one Northern California and the Pacific Northwest are preparing for this week. The National Weather Service Weather Prediction Center has issued excessive rainfall risks starting Tuesday and running through Friday because of the powerful storm expected in Northern California and the Pacific Northwest. The storm is arriving as the region experiences an atmospheric river, which is a long plume of moisture, over the Pacific Ocean. The Weather Prediction Center said the storm intensified swiftly enough that it's considered a bomb cyclone. Bomb cyclones can happen in many places, and aren't unique to the West Coast. They can occur in several parts of the world's oceans, including the Northwest Pacific and North Atlantic.
We have a technical definition for it, and that's when a low pressure system rapidly intensifies by 24 millibars in 24 hours.
There.
But really what we're describing is a low pressure system or a storm that's going under rapid intensification. Well, a hurricane is formed a little bit differently. Those storms also undergo rapid intensification, but usually the term bomb cyclone does not refer to a hurricane. It could be a snowstorm, however, and we do actually most frequently see these in the winter. So they are frequently snowstorms as well. There's a number of factors that are involved with any storm system to make it a bomb cyclone, but really the most frequent thing that we see is when we have some stronger cold air being pulled into a warmer system.
Usually they're going to be associated with a lot of weather. You know, heavy rainfall, heavy snowfall, and certainly high gusty winds, possibly up to hurricane strength winds. I mean, we're seeing wind gusts near the coast or off the coast of the Pacific Northwest right now, up into the 90 mile per hour wind gusts. And they are expecting high wind gusts, especially in some of the higher terrain, further inland as well.